Shalom, this is Kabash Mayasharala, and before I hop into today's lesson, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to the Most High in the name of His Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, in the true Paleo-Hebrew tongue. Ka, Halayim, La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ha, Rakah, Quadash, Ma'amath. I want to give a double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS who rule well and teach well. I want to give a double honor to my elder as well, here in Wamba Yasharala of the Lions Den Camp here in Jacksonville, Florida. And I want to say shalom to the Akim four corners of the globe, pushing this truth with sincerity. And with that being said, this lesson is going to the topic of not sharing righteous things with the unfaithful. Or a better way to put it, just not sharing oil with the unfaithful. How about that? So, while our job may be to feed the Lord's sheep, we don't owe anything to those of this world, especially those who've shown themselves to be stiff-necked and hard-headed. So, you got people out here, they'll cleave to you because they see the light of the Lord on you, whether they recognize it to be that or not. But they know it's something about you. They'll seek counsel from you, and then you give them the counsel. Then they turn around, you know, they're like a dog. They return to their own vomit. We not to waste our time on people like this. Cause you wasting that's time, that's oil that could have been given to somebody who would have appreciated that time, effort that somebody would have, appreciated, took heed to, respected. But it's people out here, they'll take your counsel and they'll go do what they want to do. They don't respect your time. They don't respect your counsel. A wise man heareth, roughly paraphrasing, a wise man heareth a wise word and he add unto it. But as soon as a fool hear it, he cast it behind him. And that's what these people doing. We don't got to deal with the foolish people. Especially when they showing themselves that they're not listening to you. They're not taking heed to what the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding bestowed on us by Yahweh Shemel Shai. They're not taking heed to those things. It's wasted product, so to speak. There's nothing we could do to help anyone who doesn't want to be saved. And being a counselor to them only adds to the weight of your cross. You give somebody a lifesaver, and they not trusting in the lifesaver. Meanwhile they drowning in the water. There's nothing else you can do. You did your part. Well, you see that person still struggling with the same things, that's a stumbling block placed before them by the Lord. And that's what it all comes down to. And dealing with these people, constantly trying to help them, constantly trying to save them, that's only going to wear you down. And we got to endure to the end. Focus on our own salvation. You go mess yourself up, trip yourself up, worry about somebody else's path. Now, if somebody listening to you and they take a heat, you give them counsel. Help them. I'm talking about the people, you give them the things needed for whatever situation they in. Whether it just be a listening ear, words of wisdom, encouragement, whatever the case may be, and they still in their pitiful case. They don't have the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai on them. The Lord isn't dealing with that person. And we can't be unequally yoked with non-believers. Because that's detrimental to us. But just to get the party started, this is Matthew 25, and I'm going to start at verse 1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. So, the 5 wise virgins, they prepared themselves for the wedding. They put their makeup on, they got their dress, all this, that, and third. They prepared themselves for that date. Versus the foolish virgins, they were just sitting around watching love and hip hop, tarrying in this world. Meanwhile, the wedding's approaching, and they made no preparations. Verse 5, while the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, and behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. So that day approaching, those 5 wise virgins, they prepared. They all they gotta do is pull up, you know. They got everything they need. They're not running around last minute seeking the things needed. Like those foolish virgins. The foolish virgins asking the wise virgins for the help when they had the same opportunity, the liberty to get those things themselves. And the wise virgins said, nah, we can't give you what we got. We only got enough for ourselves. We can't help you and us, because there won't be enough for us if we help you. And that goes to these times we're in today. We're preparing to enter into the kingdom of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. We're seeking him out while he may be found, seeking out his wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, the true ways of righteousness. Whereas the 2/3 of our people, being foolish, they're tarrying in this world. They're doing everything but preparing themselves for the day of the Lord, to be rejoined unto him. And ultimately, when those times come, they're gonna be looking for the true, the ones that with the true oil. But there's nothing we could do to save them in those times. We're gonna have to tell them to go into those that sell wine, because while that place of repentance was open to them, they not only rejected it, but they hated it. They didn't want to prepare for the wedding. They not the 2/3 of our people not preparing for the day of the Lord. And you see the mindset they're in these times, even before the Great Tribulation, how when they get afflicted, they're going through trials and tribulation, the state of mind that they're in. They look troubled, scared, that flesh going crazy. Versus us, we're in the same flesh, but we're guided by the spirit of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, knowing that he's with us. We don't have that spirit of fear. We have the spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. So we trust in the Lord to have us prepared for that day, being led by his spirit. Versus the 2/3 of our people, they're not being led by anything but their flesh, the carnal mind. Matthew 25:10. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh. So the gathering is going on now spiritually. Ezekiel 9:4, mark those that sigh and cry for the abominations done in this place, roughly paraphrasing. So the Lord is doing the sifting now. He sees those who's preparing for the day, for his return, and he sees those that's not. He sees who's abiding by his wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and he sees who's rejecting it, trying to find their own path. And the Lord is only going to receive those with the oil, so to speak. And when the 2/3 of our people come trying to receive the same grace and mercy that we're working towards now, it's going to be too late. The Lord going to say, depart from him. He said, I know you not. So these people out here being afflicted by trial tribulations, being given wisdom, knowledge, understanding to be able to bear these things, or, get out of that predicament, and they reject it, cast it behind them, they're not of the Lord. Because the Lord's sheep hear his voice, they know him and follow him. They don't want to be examples of the Lord's spirit. They don't want the Lord to justify and glorify them. They might say that with their mouth, but their heart is not with the Lord. And having been introduced to the Lord, knowing those of the Lord, seeking counsel from them and rejecting it, you're ultimately rejecting Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. If you're going to go find your own way, you might as well not have wasted your time or the Lord's time. It was just a waste. It was vanity. Because that faith isn't true and sincere. The Lord's not dealing with those of little faith. He's only dealing with those who take heed to his wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Philippians 2:12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. So we're to go and seek out our own oil. We can't be getting oil for our brother, sister, auntie, cousin, everybody who in our lives. We got to focus on our own salvation. We can't gather oil for people who don't want to go get the oil. We have to be wise according to the eyes of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, and focus on our own path that the Lord called us to walk. Partaking in the workmanship, doing things commanded of us, keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability. We got so much going on in our own lives, we can't help somebody who doesn't want to be helped. Because we're trying to save our own souls. We fighting the fight of faith. And if somebody with you and they not fighting, you know, they either with me or against me, or you in my way. And the only ones that are with us are the ones in the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Those are the ones who will take heed to that encouragement, wisdom, whatever the case may be. Versus those against you and in the way, they're enemies of the Lord. They're not focused on salvation. They're trying to escape affliction, not knowing that the Lord has all of us in the furnace of adversity, of affliction, to see who's going to do what when the pressure's on. Sirach 2:1. Thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure. Make not haste in times of trouble. 2/3 of our people aren't prepared for temptation because they're not accepting the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. So when that temptation comes, they fall victim to it every time because they have no defense. Their heart isn't aright. It's not set on Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. If I was going to do all that, I should have got it. Yeah, let's go ahead and get it. Salakia. So Sirach 2:1 again. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in times of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. So like I was saying, the 2/3 of our people, their hearts aren't aright because it's not set on Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Their hearts have departed from the Lord. Their hearts in the darkness, confusion of this world. And that's what they truly fear. They can't see or hear anything spiritually. They have no guidance. They're not being led of the true shepherd. But they see us overcoming, enduring, staying disciplined, things of that nature. They want some of what we got. But they don't want to do the things that we do to receive these things. Again, some of the things we do, we prepare our soul for temptation. We set our heart aright, constantly endure, and we don't make haste in times of trouble. We cleave to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Because we're focused on the increase at the last end, the salvation, eternal life, new bodies of incorruption, ruling in the kingdom. These are the things we're focused on. And nothing can cause us to lose focus of that. Versus 2/3 of our people, they have no hope. They just, being afflicted up until the day of judgment, because there's no rest in this place. But our people steady trying to find it. They're not thinking right. Romans 12, going to start at verse 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto Yahweh, which is your reasonable duty of service. And be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh. So we gave our bodies to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. The foolish virgins aren't doing that. They still clubbing, as it was in the day of Noah. They eating, drinking, doing everything they want to do. But when that calamity comes, they're going to be beating on the side of the ark, just like it was in the days of Noah. But the Lord going to have the elect sealed. Them doors of grace and mercy going to be closed. Ain't nothing you could do to get in. There's going to be no way to obtain that wisdom, knowledge, or understanding. So their sacrifice, whatever it is they're doing, won't be accepted of the Lord. They're not serving Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. They don't want the light of the Lord in their lives. They want to continue in darkness, meaning they got something to hide. But that's not this type of lesson. It's more so on the topic of not sharing the oil with the unfaithful. So getting back on topic, the wisdom, knowledge, I'll say the word of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai transforms our mind. It cleanses us. We're cleansed through the word of the Lord. And he makes us examples of his spirit by overcoming trials and tribulation. That's how we prove what his good, acceptable, and perfect will is. By staying faithful. The 2/3 of our people don't have that faith. So when they get struck with adversity, again, they just fall victim to it. Because their mindset is still of this world. There's no salvation in this world. And that's just what it all boils down to. They don't want to be transformed by the renewing of their minds. Especially when they see you overcoming. They got an example of the Spirit of the Lord in their lives. They see you overcoming. They see you enduring. And they want some of that for themselves, but they don't want to do what's necessary. They're going to receive the judgment of this world. They can only move according to their carnal thoughts and their fleshly desires. Matthew 7:6. Give not that which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast ye your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and turn again and rend you. So we can't give our oil to these unfaithful individuals because they're not going to appreciate it how it was meant to be appreciated. People seek counsel from the men of the Lord thinking they got to get out of jail free card. No, this is not Christianity doctrine. Nah, keep that over there on the left-hand side where you could just pray your sins away or just get dipped in some water. No, this is different. You come over here on the foundation of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. No, you got to serve him truly and sincerely. You can't cast the Lord behind you as soon as he delivers you from your affliction. And we don't owe these people anything. We get their blood off of our hands. Whether they hear forbear, we prophesying to them. But that don't mean we stay in their face all day, every day, argue with them every time we see them, whatever. We're not obligated to help these people. Yahweh Shai said, they don't hear you in one city, move to the next. That's what he told his disciples. And we're the followers of a Mashiach today. So we are to abide by that same ordinance. And this is Yahweh Shai speaking. Don't give that which is holy to the dogs. Because they're not going to appreciate it. That dog would have been happy with whatever you gave him. So they got to go to them that sell wine. They got to go to the false camps, the false prophets of this world, the sowers of the tares. Because we are the sowers of wheat. We harvesting the wheat of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai through the Spirit, because that's how we're being gathered. 2/3 of our people, they don't see the value, the true riches in the things of the Lord. And that's what it all comes down to. They don't respect the Lord. They're not going to respect him until they receive that judgment of death by pain. And this is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, chapter 21. And I'm going to start at verse 15. If a skillful man hear a wise word, hey, this is what I was trying to roughly paraphrase earlier in the lesson. But if a skillful man hear a wise word, he will commend it and add unto it. But as soon as one of no understanding heareth it, it displeaseth him, and he casteth it behind his back. So those with the spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, they'll hear that wisdom, knowledge, understanding being spoken, they'll add unto it. They'll either come with a precept, interjection, they'll just be in agreement with you, whatever the case may be. Or they'll have like a testimony of something that somebody's going through to add on to the wise words being spoken. Increasing the light being shined. How about that? But those with no understanding, they hear words of wisdom, it displeases them. They want to hear, our people want to hear smooth and sweet things. They don't want to hear the cold, hard truth. So they'll come seek counsel from you and they'll leave disappointed. They'll be mad at you. I remember one time, one of my exes, she was on the phone with her brother or something like that, a cousin or whoever. He was going through it with his chick or whatever he had going on. I believe it was something to do with the chick. And like what he was saying, I was like, man, it was a real head scratcher. And like, bro, I was like, man, talk to the Lord about it. And I was being so serious. But him and my ex looked at me like I said the craziest stuff ever. Wise words displeases foolish people. They cast that behind their back. Imagine somebody looking at you crazy for telling them to go talk to the Lord. That's the mindset our people in. They don't want to hear wisdom. They're not going to appreciate it. So when you recognize that the words, the wisdom of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai isn't being respected, you separate yourself. That person doesn't appreciate your counsel. You're casting your pearls before swine, and we were instructed not to do so. So we're to keep our righteous integrity. The Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai not simping behind the 2/3. He ain't running behind them, begging, pleading with them to get right. Please, just listen to me. No, he ain't doing that. He finna pour out his indignation upon these people. And ain't nothing we can do to stop that. All we can do is get out the way. I tried to tell you. Sorry. Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. So our people destroyed because they lack the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Lord. They're in a destroyed state. You see the state of our people today. Our women out here playing harlots in the street. The men, their eyes are evil towards their brother. And our people are just in a conquered state. Esau created the N-word figuratively and literally. At first it was a derogatory term. But you look at our people today, it's manifested into the 2/3 of our people actually being proverbs and bywords. We're still under the curses, but the 2/3 of our people, they're really under the curses. They're still proverbs and bywords. Yeah, we, being of the Lord, we're called proverbs and bywords, but we're not in that mindset. The 2/3 of our people are in that N-word mindset, that B-word mindset. And it's all because they lack the knowledge of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And then when it gets introduced to them, then they reject it. They don't want to hear it. So Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is going to reject them. They don't want to seek counsel of the Lord. So guess what? You're gonna receive the judgment of the Lord. That's like going to court. You can either get rehab or they can go ahead and send you to the correctional facility. We want to be rehabilitated, healed through the wisdom, knowledge, understanding of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. The 2/3 of our people, they just said, fuck it, just send me straight to the correctional institution. Yup. That's what's going on. And the Lord just kept them in their lot throughout the generations to receive their judgment in these times. And that's all it boils down to. Ezekiel 3:7. But the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-headed. So don't feel no type of way when somebody don't accept your counsel. They're not taking heed to the words being spoken through you. The words of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua being spoken through you. Don't feel no type of way about it. They're not listening to you because they don't listen to the Lord. That's them being stiff-necked, hard-headed, impudent. And that's that simple. They're not listening to the Lord. I got another precept that I didn't have wrote, but I'm going to go ahead and get it anyway. This is John 8:44. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. So the 2/3 of our people, they're the father, the deceiver, the devil. That's their authority. They're going to fulfill the lust of their heart, of their carnal mind. They're going to do what they seem to be right when faced with adversity. We're to trust in the Lord with all thy heart, lean not to our own understanding. But guess what? The 2/3 of our people, they're under deception. They're in a false reality. They're not abiding in the truth. They rather take counsel of Esau, this society, anything but the Lord. They want to stay in darkness. And that's what it all comes down to. The truth, they find comfort in lies, smooth, sweet things. They hate the truth. But it's okay. The Lord gonna make it right. Yeah. If we can't make it right for you through the wisdom, knowledge, understanding of the Lord gonna make it right through judgment. Isaiah 30:1 to close it out. Woe to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. So it's woe to these people, meaning curse, destruction, to the rebellious children, those that take counsel of this world, of the darkness of this world, and not Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. They cover themselves with carnality and vanity, nothing. They're covering themselves up with nothing. And they're transgressing the law of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. They're striving further and further away from him. They're striving towards Egypt. They're striving deeper into this world. They're not asking Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua to strengthen them. And if they are, they're not doing it truly and sincerely. They don't trust in that. They only trust in carnal protections, coverings, things of that nature. They trust in the strength of Pharaoh. They see the power of this place. They see Esau's established everything. Esau established the religions, philosophies, so on and so forth, and they trust in that. They trust in the shadow of Egypt. They trust in the coverings of this world, whether it be, again, religions, wisdom, social constructs, however you want to put it. Black Lives Matter, whatever, man. LGBT, they trust in these things. But guess what? These things aren't going to save you from the judgment of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. You're going to find out when the Lord cuts the light on that you are still naked. You are still dirty, filthy, rolling around in mud. And some people know this. Some of these people, they know they ain't got no faith. And they'll tell you that. I was staying in the rough side of town. I was telling this dude about the truth. He was like, hey man, miss me with that Bible stuff, bro. It's too late for me. It's like, bro, you made a covenant with death. You're not even gonna try. The spirit is willing, the flesh is weak. The 2/3 of our people empower the flesh, so they're weak. to the wiles of the devil. Isaiah 30:3. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. Because when Yahweh Shema Shai tries this world, these foolish virgins are going to find out that they were weak. And the Lord giving them doses of that now when faced with trials and tribulation. Typical Christian. They talk about they trust in the Lord, this, that, and the third. As soon as adversity strike, oh Lord, what we gonna do? Oh, what we gonna do? It's like, man, they out their wits, man. They didn't have the spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. They had the spirit of fear. The Lord didn't give us the spirit of fear. Because we know all things work for the better of us that trust in Yahweh Shema Shai. The Lord not going to let nothing overtake us. Versus 2/3 of our people, they trusted in the strength of Pharaoh. They're going to be ashamed in that. Like, damn, I made the wrong choice. Should have got with Yahweh Shema Shai. I should have listened to that brother. He was giving me counsel. This trust in the shadow of Egypt is going to be the confusion. Because these things, the philosophies, religions, and things that they try to cover themselves with, they're not teaching of the prophecies to come. They're teaching feel-good doctrine, keep pushing, whatever the case may be. They're not giving you the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Shema Shai. So when the Lord starts judging this world, they're not going to know what's going on. They're going to be confused. Hold on, pastor ain't telling me about that. My guidance counselor ain't tell me about that. Whoever it is they're seeking counsel from, if it's not a counselor of Yahweh Shema Shai, they're going to have you confounded. They're a blind leader of the blind, a false prophet, wolf in sheep's clothing. So for those other fold, watch who you take counsel from. For those who don't want to take counsel of the Lord, you got judgment coming. And we're not the again. Our job is to feed the Lord's sheep. But sheep eat. You don't have to fight them. A goat gonna be hard-headed. He gonna buck at you, don't want to go in the pen when it's time. This, that, and the third. Yeah, they're the ones this lesson was for. Those who don't want to be they're not sheep of the Lord. They're unfaithful, not seeking out things of the Lord while they can. They'll take counsel from you and go back in this world like you ain't had, like the conversation never happened, and fall victim to the tribulation, do everything you told them not to do. But Yahweh, this lesson was edifying, and until the next time, I'm gonna say shalom.